Okay, I think it's a good time to get started. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session, we're going to be covering Elevate Your Helix Dashboards. So that's with Insight Finder Intelligence. This is our EMEA and Americas session. Some of your colleagues may have joined our session on Tuesday. It's the same session that we're running. We will be sending out all of the content today, and I will also be collating the Q&A from the Tuesday session and today's. So do keep this interactive. We would ask that you use the Q&A section of Zoom, which you can find at the bottom. We do have Taryn and Ankita that will be helping to answer your questions today. So thank you to them both for helping. We did get a lot of questions on Tuesday. And today I'm joined by Nikhil Deshpande, our Principal Product Manager, who is going to be running the session, the slides, and also the demo today. Let's go through the agenda slides. So Nikhil, if you can move to the next slide. So we're going to be covering a welcome and introduction, understanding Insight Finder, how Insight Finder transforms raw data into actionable insights. We're going to walk you through some use cases, integration with BMC Helix GPT. Then we'll move on to the live demo and of course the Q&A. At the moment, you will remain muted so we can get through the session, and then we will have roughly around 15 or so minutes at the end where we can take the questions live. So with that, Nikhil, I'm going to hand over to you to get us started.
Thank you, Sam, and hello, everybody, all those who have joined this webinar. I'm Nikhil Deshpande, Product Manager of Helix Dashboards, and I'm excited to be back presenting one more webinar to present our agentic AI capabilities in using Insight Finder. I'm unable to start my video camera today because of network bandwidth constraints, but hopefully I should be able to do it sometime today. So in this webinar, we're going to cover a number of things. We'll provide you a high-level overview of the Helix Agentic AI strategy. There will be an introduction to Helix GPT Insight Finder. We'll also cover a few real-world use cases in ITSM. There's a call to action around a workshop that we plan to, or a number of workshops that we plan to organize over the next several months to help you get up to speed with configuring Insight Finder quickly. So we'll cover all of that. So let's start with our BMC Helix Agentic AI strategy. So let's start with the bigger picture. Insight Finder is part of BMC Helix Service Ops, which is powered by Helix GPT. This is our agentic AI platform, which is designed to bring together AI, generative AI, and automation to drive intelligent service operations. It's not just about automating dashboards. It certainly includes that, but it's much more than that. It's about enabling every persona in your organization to ask questions, get answers, and take action. All of this without needing to depend on data expert or without needing to be a data expert yourself. The Helix GPT AI Fabric leverages agentic AI, and it delivers a fully connected end-to-end service ops conversational experience. It enhances the user experience by allowing employees to ask questions like, "What is my company's vacation policy?" And it provides real-time summaries for help desk agents as well as site reliability engineers. For example, it can explain that a banking application is slow due to a network switch dropping packets. By analyzing historical incidents, knowledge articles, and situational data, Helix GPT recommends the best course of action using either predefined runbooks or automated workflows. These automations can be executed manually or even autonomously for self-healing. Now, what do you do if there is no automation? In that case, Helix GPT creates remediation plans. It can also create code, workflows, all of this to accelerate resolution. By leveraging historical trends, Helix GPT can also predict future issues, such as recurring network failures impacting a certain application on the first day of every month. By integrating AI-driven automation and predictive intelligence, Helix GPT transforms service ops, reducing manual effort and also enhancing operational efficiency. BMC Helix is the only open-first agentic AI platform for service ops that unlocks human potential to multiply productivity. It is built for service and operations and IT leaders who need to manage services and service ever-changing IT landscapes. All of this with constrained budgets and team sizes. All IT leaders are under tremendous pressure to optimize costs while delivering stringent SLAs, driving customer satisfaction. BMC Helix arms IT leaders with a fleet of AI agents across service ops in a flexible, easy to scale architecture, and it helps you lower the total cost of ownership. It frees up your IT teams tackle high impact and high value work. Our agentic AI solutions eliminate the mundane and help your teams reduce toil. Plus, because it is delivered in a containerized platform, deployment can be across any cloud or even on-prem. It improves efficiency, lowers cost, and it allows you to bring your own AI. If you have your own subscriptions to uh, Gemini or OpenAI, we allow you to bring those subscriptions so that you can take advantage of any special pricing that you have with these vendors and allows you to leverage the AI, agentic AI capabilities of BMC Helix along with your LLM subscriptions. All of this is done with your data and on your choice of deployment. We also plan to introduce or extend our agentic AI solutions across interfaces that you are already familiar with, such as Teams and other such interfaces. So it allows your organizations to work within your environments, all of that within the interfaces of your choice. And finally, Helix has an open, flexible AI architecture that delivers measurable productivity gains. You get time to value quickly and see fast ROI. Helix fuels enterprise operational efficiency while reducing complexity. Now, we have designed and distributed our agentic AI solutions across these four areas that I just talked about. That brings us to Helix GPT Insight Finder. So, what is Insight Finder? It's an AI agent to help you generate superior analytics and drive business outcomes. All of this using a natural language interface. Helix GPT Insight Finder now empowers and enables every service manager, every operations manager to be a data analyst. They no longer need to depend on specialists to generate analytics. And it does so by providing actionable in context insights. All of this while driving the quality of decisions because your decisions are now going to be based on factual data. A problem that we see over and over across our customers is that service managers, operations leads often struggle to get access to data. They're almost always or oftentimes they are either fighting fires or they have tactical information needs for service improvement initiatives. They often do not have the time to learn how to use a dashboarding tool, and they don't have the luxury of having to wait for several weeks for a data analyst to be available. Insight Finder is an app solution for all these personas because it enables these practitioners who know their processes. They know what they're looking for. They're just too busy to learn a dashboarding tool. It enables them to have instant access to whatever data they need for their specific needs. The outcomes, it helps generate dashboards using natural language prompts, all of this within seconds. It's more than just building dashboards, which is of course the first step, but it Insight Finder also partners with the user or the IT manager, the service manager to analyze data and explore the data, partner with the user to analyze data and uncover hidden patterns. It provides this for a wide range of personas and helps them summarize that data, which is ultimately required for any dashboard. Is the outcome that anyone looks for is the ability to summarize that in an easy to understand way. So generating dashboard is the basic skill that Insight Finder offers. Uh, It quickly generates dashboards all through a natural language prompt with there's no learning curve involved. You don't need to learn how to you don't need to undergo training to use Insight Finder. If you know what you're looking for, you will be able to quickly get up to speed. Insight Finder goes beyond just generating dashboard. It can also generate prompts for you. So the response to your prompt, if it's of the nature of recommendations for prompts, is a prompt or a list of prompts. So because Insight Finder understands the underlying schema of ITSM and AI Ops and our other products, it's able to recommend ways of analyzing data. Depending on how you articulate your analytical needs, Insight Finder can recommend ways of analyzing data. One advantage of doing this is that humans often have a bias in favor of analyzing data a certain way, and it's practically impossible to remove our own biases. But look, for example, some analysts may have a preference for analyzing data just in a certain way, just by business service or a technical service or in certain way. But Insight Finder doesn't have those biases. It it leverages its understanding of the schema and it provides you all possible ways in which you can slice and dice that data. This can completely transform the way you analyze your data and use it for service improvement initiatives, service customer satisfaction, and so on. Insight Finder is offered for a wide range of service ops solutions. On the service management side, we support incidents, problems, changes, asset management, CMDB, digital workplace, and service level management. There are other areas within service management which are currently they're either in progress or they are on the roadmap. So we are aware that ITSM by itself is so vast that there are several more areas in ITSM. Of course, these are the core areas, but there are others like work orders, tasks, knowledge management, and so on. So we'll continue to expand our coverage of BMC Helix products across both service management and operations management. On the operations management side, we support events, metrics, and vulnerability resolver. So vulnerability resolver was previously called Helix Automation Console. We have just about started supporting vulnerability management. We're going to start with incident management. As I said, all interactions are through conversations. So I'll say show a breakdown of incidents by status. When you use large language models, the more context you provide, the better it is for the LLM to return you a result within that context. If you don't provide sufficient context, then oftentimes these models make decisions on their own, and they still manage to give you an outcome. In this case, I did not specify how I want my data to be visualized, and I left it to Insight Finder to decide. So it determined that a pie chart is an apt way to look at this data, and that's what it has done. But if I'm not satisfied with a pie chart, let's say I want to see this data as a bar chart, I can do that. It's also important to note that Insight Finder allows you to maintain the context. So what is the context? Your first prompt sets the context. In this case, it is breakdown of incidents by status. This is the context. Now, within this context, you can make modifications to your prompts. That is, you can enter follow-up prompts that build on this context, and which is what we have done. Show as bar chart, or I can even add some conditions. I can say show uh, incidents submitted in the past 60 days only. So I provided an additional context. Give me incidents submitted only in the past 60 days. But the context remains breakdown of incidents by status. So within this, I can go on tweaking this query to get a result. So each time you provide a follow-up prompt, the same panel gets refreshed over and over. So you'll notice that the data changed because we added one condition. We can continue to iterate. So we can say order by descending order. So I've asked it to order this data in a descending order. Because I did not change my conditions, Insight Finder does not have to go back to the database. It just rearranges that data in the descending order. So that's what it has done now. Now, once we are satisfied with the outcome, we are now ready to move on to our next panel. And uh, to do that, I'll click on new topic. So new topic now tells Insight Finder that I'm now ready to move to something else, which is what I can do. We can also generate uh, detailed data such as show incident details with work log details for critical priority incidents submitted in the past 30 days. So this is a join between the incident form and the work log form. Because Insight Finder understands the schema of incidents, it will fetch data across both of these forms, add the appropriate join, and then visualize the data as a table. Because the nature of our prompt is details, details are almost always displayed as table. Also note that I did not specify which columns I want. I could have done that. If I did that, Insight Finder would have shown me just those columns. But if I don't, I rely on Insight Finder to determine the best way of or the most relevant details for such a prompt. But I can continue to iterate and add or remove columns from here. So I can say add urgency and impact. Is there anything else we want to do? No, that's it. I can also say add incident submit date, urgency, and impact. We can also reorder the columns. So if I want to move some column, I can say display urgency and impact right after incident number. Okay. We can also add some conditions here. Show only records where description contains new laptop. So I've done two things. I've asked changing the order of columns. So I want to see urgency and impact immediately after the incident number column. And I've added a condition. I want only records where description contains new laptop. So it has done that. It's moved urgency and impact to these positions. It has also added a condition on the description field to get all records where description contains new laptop. So this way you can continue to iterate and refresh the same query. We have provided a few panel actions. So if you want to view the database query, you can do that. And it will show you the underlying database query, what kind of, where your data is coming from, what are the joins. Sometimes you may not get expected results. In that case, you can look at the query. You cannot modify the query though, but you can look at the query. You can copy to clipboard. If you have database access, you can then log into the database and run the query on the database. So thus far, our prompts were very specific. I knew what I wanted. But what if I just want to leverage the power of Insight Finder for analytical purposes? So I can ask Insight Finder to help me analyze incident management. Let's see what it comes back with. I want to know how well Insight Finder understands incident management to be able to recommend ways of analyzing this data. So that's what it has done. It's the response in this case is a list of prompts which will help me analyze incident data. So what's the average time to acknowledge incidents? What's the average time to resolve? What's the distribution of incidents by status? So we can click on any of these and then that prompt will run on the database. Okay. There you go. Now you can articulate your analysis prompts in different ways. So you can say, show incident management trends. First, my first prompt was just generic, just help me analyze incident data. Now, this one is about trends. And notice how all of these prompts are about trends. What's the trend of incident resolution times over the past quarter? How has the volume of incidents changed over the year? What is the trend of incident backlog? What's the average number of incidents? Everything is of the nature of trends. Okay. And you can click on any of those. One more way, I'll try one more. I'll ask Insight Finder to recommend ways of analyzing incident data by priority. Yeah. So look at these prompts. Calculate average resolution time by priority. What's the distribution of incident statuses across priority levels? Generate a query to show the trend of incident volume for each priority. So depending on your prompt, Insight Finder returns intelligent prompts within the context of what you have asked for. And then you can run any of these prompts. Yeah, there you go. Now let's move on to problem management. Uh, Basic prompt show count of problems of critical priority. Because the response to this question, show count of problems of critical priority, the response to this question is a number. That's why the visualization is a number. I can also say, show the expected time to resolve problems for each status. Now what it's come back with is clarification questions. Insight Finder is asking me, how should the expected time to resolve be calculated? But it's not just given up. This is an intelligent response because it has provided a clue. So it's given an example. Should I use the difference between target resolution and the submit date? And I can say yes. Yes, based on the difference between yep. So it's now shown us this data based on the additional context that I provided. If you want to see the query, you can do that. Yeah, so it fetches from PBM problem investigation and uh, it calculates, so it's taken the investigation status and the date difference between the submit date and the resolution date, and it then does a dative and an average to get this aggregate across, calculate this aggregate by status. One more thing, if you can certainly save this dashboard, but before you save, if you want to get rid of some panel, you can always remove. You can rearrange these panels. And then you can save as a dashboard. Give it a description and specify your folder. All dashboards that are generated and saved through Insight Finder, they are tagged with Insight Finder. So it helps you identify, if you ever want to identify which dashboards were created by Insight Finder, you can do that. Just look for the tag Insight Finder. So that's about the newer features of the interface. So this is about, we also covered incidents, problems. Let's see something on change management now. So I'll start a new dashboard, a new topic. Breakdown of change requests by assigned group. Okay, so basic query on changes. Again, you can change the order. You can say show as bar chart. Okay, I can also say show top 4 assigned groups. At the moment we see 6, but I'm just asking for the top few. There you go. Now we can move on to something else. How many changes were submitted in the past 1 month? Can I add a follow-up? How many of these were completed or closed? Yeah. Now we don't have because there aren't any changes in the status. That's why it returned us zero records. Now let's run a prompt for generating prompts. Show change management visualizations. Yeah. So it has given us these prompts to analyze, broadly analyze change management. Okay. I can ask for show I want to analyze change data based on product categories. Yeah, so that's what it's come back with. Count of changes by tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Yeah, we don't have good data on product category tier 1. Now let me show you something else. count of changes by risk levels. Okay, so now we see a distribution across the 5 risk levels. I can say, show me data for changes where the risk level is high. Okay, I've not specified what high means. I hope it understands that level 1 is low risk and level 5 is the highest. So let's see what it comes back with. Yeah, it's got us data for risk level 5. If I want to undo this, let's try that. Show data for all risk levels. Okay, so it's going back. I can also say show data for levels 1 and 2. I don't have to say risk level 1 and risk level 2. I hope it understands risk levels 1 and 2. Yes, it did. And so on. You can, again, all of these, your analysis is, the scope is limited by what you see in the view. So the concept of view is, if you're familiar with Visual Query Builder, which is the visual designer to build dashboards, then in Visual Query Builder, you have to select a view. And once you select the view, this is what you can report off. Insight Finder leverages the same views. So whatever is the scope of this view, all of that you can report off of Insight Finder. Everything in all of these folders. So the details, operational categorization, product categorization, the calculated fields, and so on. If you have any customizations, any custom metrics, custom calculations, you can add them here. You can do that using Reporting Metadata Studio, which is our developer tool to extend our out-of-the-box views to include any calculated fields or any custom fields that you have, or if you have developed any custom forms that work with your ITSM data, you can bring those custom forms and custom fields also within the purview of Insight Finder. So once you include that in that view, you can go to Insight Finder configure views, and here all those views that are enabled here are what Insight Finder will understand. So if you have your custom fields, add them to your custom view and enable that custom view here so that Insight Finder will understand your custom fields. One more thing about roles. In version 25.2, Insight Finder is controlled available, and we did that because we did not have a permission model. But in 25.3, we have done that. We have introduced a permission model that allows you to set permissions. So we have introduced 2 granular permissions: Insight Finder access and create. We foresee that most customers will want to have a vast majority of their users have access to Insight Finder, but not save dashboards. So to those users, you will grant the access permission. But there are a few power users who know what they're doing, and to those users, you will also grant them the create dashboards permission. When you do that, they'll be able to not just generate dashboards, but they'll also be able to create dashboards, save dashboards created using Insight Finder. So this save button is enabled only for those users who have the create permission. That's about permissions. What else? Yeah, configuration. There's some configuration required to get Insight Finder working. Uh, We have simplified configuration in subsequent versions. If you are on version 25.2 of ITSM, then you will need to submit a support case to have Insight Finder enabled. After that, there will also be some configuration steps that we will help you with. If you're on 25.3, then you don't need to submit a support case. It's enabled for all SaaS customers. But there are a few configuration steps involved. We are going to schedule a few workshops in the coming weeks and months across multiple time zones, multiple geographies, so that customers in different regions can understand how to configure Insight Finder. These will be hands-on sessions. So you will come there. You need to have admin access to be able to configure that. We will show you in those workshops how you can configure Insight Finder. Coming back to the benefits, so these are the various personas who will benefit from Insight Finder. The service owner who needs to have a complete control over what's going on in services and operations, change managers, service desk managers, and IT operations leads. And what are the takeaways for all of them? The service owner receives very clear contextual insights. She gets insights into services, into operations. She's able to better align operations management, service management, as well as with business outcomes. Change managers, they are continually tasked with improving the change management process. They have responsibilities for ensuring that the change impact analysis is accurate, the business impact of changes is minimal, and they also need to ensure that the change process aligns with the policy framework of the company. So things like governance and so on, those are important. Service desk managers need complete insight into what's going on in the service desk across incidents, problems, assets, and so on. They need to do better workforce planning. They need to drive customer satisfaction. They need to ensure that changes and incidents are aligned. So service desk managers also get insights into what's going on through Insight Finder. Finally, IT operations leads, they're continually looking for tactical data. They often work with senior leaders to generate data about trends, about what's going on in different areas. They need to improve effectiveness of ITSM practices, processes, improve efficiency, improve productivity, and all of these. So all of these personas can benefit from Insight Finder. Finally, a few prerequisites on Insight Finder. Firstly, you need to be familiar with Helix dashboards. Although you don't need to be an expert in writing SQL, familiarity with Helix dashboards helps get up to speed quickly. You also need to be on these minimum supported versions. So dashboards, you need to be on 25.2, but 25.3 is already generally available and it will be pushed to customers according to a schedule. If you're on for service management like ITSM, digital workplace, and so on, the minimum supported version is 25.2, although we recommend customers to be on 25.3. It will work with 25.2. It's just that, as I said, the configuration requires a little more steps, but it will work. You need to bring your own LLM subscription. We support OpenAI hosted on Azure. In 25.2, we supported version 4.0, and in 25.3, we have extended support to 4.1. And Gemini, hosted on Google Vertex, is supported in 25.3. We are aware that these LLM vendors continually keep coming up with newer versions. So on our roadmap, we will continue to support newer versions of these vendors, as well as we'll also look at other LLM vendors if we need to extend our support to other models as well. Call to action, as I said, if you're interested in configuring Insight Finder and get it up and running quickly, please participate in these workshops. There will be several of these workshops that we will schedule over the next several months. And these are all the things. We'll help you with the initial configuration, we'll answer your questions, we'll share some best practices of entering prompts and how you can adopt these in your daily operations. If you're interested, please reach out to success@bmc.com. And whenever we have this schedule, will be happy to inform you about these workshops. I'm now going to turn it over back to Sam to talk about our Helix roadshows.
Great, thank you, Nikhil. So just a reminder for those that are on here, if you haven't already gone to our roadshows, I know some of you are dotted around the world. We've just finished Melbourne today, so we've had quite a big attendance. We are going to be going to Stockholm next, so that's September the 10th. And I know we've got quite a lot of the Americas region, so you'll see there's one in for November the 6th. When I send out the thank you emails with all the content, I will give you the direct link where to sign up for New York. And if there are any other the regions, as soon as they come live, we'll be sharing those out to everyone via LinkedIn as well. So just a reminder, we are coming live. As much as we love getting these digital content out, we do like in-person events, so we'd love to see some of you there. With that, I know we've only got 10 minutes or so left, and I've seen it. We've had a very busy Q&A, not quite as busy as the morning, but it's always good to know that we've got questions. So I think it's probably an appropriate time to now start muting everyone to give them a chance also to speak with us. And I do see, and thank you to Taryn and Ankita for being very busy on the Q&A. I do see that we've got some still open questions. So if we can maybe start with Damien first. Damien's question is in there just asking about visualization a while ago that we use timestamps to make a bar chart of the amount of records grouped by months. Not saying that this is the toughest task, but I'd be curious to see if it's capabilities. So maybe, Nikhil, this might be a question for you.
Mm-hmm. Can we unmute Damien? I'd like to understand this question better.
Yeah, let me just find him if he's available still. Bear with me. Okay, there's two profiles for him. Damien, can you hear us? I wonder. Hello?
Yeah, now?
Hello. Yes, we can. Hello.
Yeah, great. So yeah, my question is, well, I'll sell like the punch right now. The toughest part of that, because it doesn't really seem that complex, yet it took me a few hours. The problem was that every single record had a different second, so the bar chart looked like a flat line. This was something that had to do with like that had to reformat the time and date, to like remove the exact time of day and eventually the day of the month. So it was only month. Yeah, it's just, is this like, would Helix GPT be able to come up with solutions like these?
No, I'm still not sure I understand the question, but yes, uh, if
I'm asking about the complexity because this is excellent for fast and simple like tasks, but when
yeah,
we're talking about something more complex, how complex are we talking?
yeah. As I said, complexity is determined by what's within the scope of the view, whether it's incidents, problems, changes. If the data is within that view, within the schema that Insight Finder understands, then it will generate a visualization for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, your next question again, Damien, like to see samples for asset management? Yes, it will, because we ran out of time. we did not, but yes, we can do asset management also. To look at what you can do, just go to Visual Query Builder and look at the asset management view. Whatever you see there is what you can do in Insight Finder.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, we've got another question, Nikhil. Can it connect with DWPA metrics and create the promote?
Yeah, I'd make it easier for yourself. So I think there are a lot of questions, Nikhil, about the samples or the kind of reports that we can do for asset management, DWP requests, live chat and virtual chat as well. And also there was one more for, I think, operations management metrics as well. So I think we just probably have to create like YouTube videos and content so we can publish that with our people can see what all is possible. Of course, this is something that is going to improve with every iteration, but maybe we can include some examples with all of these data types.
Certainly, absolutely. Absolutely. We will share documentation about something like starter prompts, what you can get started with in different areas, incident, problem, change, asset, DWP, and so on. We'll start. We are going on expanding the scope of Insight Finder to include almost everything. Now, virtual agent, we'll have to see to what extent, because virtual agent is now giving way to employee navigator. So may not be worth enabling Insight Finder for reporting of virtual agent, but most other areas we will expand. I have answered the next question too. I would like to see asset management sample. Yes, we will share them in some way, either through a blog post or in our product documentation. We will share a few samples for what we can do across all the products that we support.
I can see we actually had that question from Damien as well. So it looks like multiple people have got that question. So that answers Damien's other question further down. Then we had a question from Ellie, and I can see Ellie's still on. Hi, Ellie. Yours was around Insight Finder. Are we able to get data for live chat and virtual agent? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Nico has just mentioned about like a virtual agent is like included in employee navigator, which I understand. But how about the live chat data? Because live chat data currently is saved in the mid-tier. So is there any way that we can get the summary from inside Finder as well?
Not yet. It's not within the scope of Insight Finder yet. We're evaluating whether we should include live chat, but definitely we're doing other areas like business workflows, digital workplace, release management, work orders, tasks, ITSM, knowledge management. All of these are on the roadmap. CMDB also.
Yeah, because I can see it, see all the view in the visual career builder as well, but it is not include live chat. So I think because we live chat is actually one of our main key in the roadmap that we want to explore. So it would be great if we can include it in the Insight Finder as well.
Sure.
And sorry, I haven't typed in a Q&A, but also for the license management, I think because we can manage the license in the mid-tier as well. So I hope it may be considered in the Insight Finder. So if we can ask Insight Finder to get our license model, it would be great as well.
Okay, we'll consider that.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for your question, Ellie. Okay, next question we've got is from Angel. Angel was asking if the AI generated report returns a large number. I think that's just been answered. Sorry, it's just popped away. Too quick for me. Let me just double check. That's thrown me a little bit. I think actually, is that all our questions? Yeah, I think we've answered all of the questions in the live Q&A. Does anybody else have any questions? We've got about 3 minutes left. Either raise a hand or come off mute. You all have access to speak live, hopefully. Guess Guessing silence is golden.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of actions from the last webinar and this one as well. That we need more. I think more from Insights Finder, I think.
So we got an
Hello.
interesting question regarding how our model performs, how the Insight Finder performs with GPT Mini. So do we have any
Beautiful.
test results for GPT Mini, Ankita or Nikhil? Do you recall?
Not yet.
Not
We
yet,
haven't
yeah.
tested with, I assume it's about GPT 4o Mini. We haven't
Mini.
tested with 4o Mini yet.
Okay,
So it's
so
only
yeah,
for 4.0, Azure OpenAI, GPT
Yes.
4.0, and Gemini
Yeah,
6.0,
4.1
right?
also. 25.3
4.1.
supports GPT 4.1.
Okay, perfect.
wonderful. I think that's been answered. So
Okay. See, we've got a hand raise, or was that accidental, Dinesh?
Oh no, I have a question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Hello. Yeah. So it's regarding, for example, if I give, Insight Finder and prompt like, I'll give existing dashboard report, yeah, and I'll ask him or ask it,
Mhm.
to optimize the query. Yeah. For example, if there is an CMDB existing dashboard, and I would ask it to, optimize the query because the current query is taking a lot of time because of multiple joins on this,
Yeah.
asset forms. So is it possible if the Insight Finder will give me the optimized query, which will reduce the uh, load on the database?
That's a good question. Thanks for asking that, Naneshwar. This is being discussed. We are considering looking at this as a roadmap item, not strictly within the purview of Insight Finder, but yes, optimizing database queries for dashboards is certainly being considered as a roadmap item.
Okay. Thanks, Nikhil. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. 1 minute left. Any other questions? Hi, Ellie. Again. Hello.
Hi everyone. So sorry, not a questions, but just a recommendation because for current Helix dashboard, we can get all the data from the mid-tier form. So from any mid-tier form, as long as we just provide the correct query. I think if it is possible, like Insight Finder, they can consider to link with all the mid-tier form that actually we can get any data when we ask the Insight Finder. It would be great. So similar things that I just talked about is the live chat and license model is actually on the mid-tier form. So as long as it is linked with any mid-tier form, then we can do anything that we want on the Helix dashboard.
Yes, so we're considering expanding this to allow you to bring your own schema. So if you have any custom fields or even custom forms,
Yeah.
any custom apps in ARS or IS, you will be able to bring those also in the future.
Yeah, it would be great. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
I
I think we've
think
got, yeah, there's one more question actually in the chat or Q&A from Rebecca. Can the Helix dashboards be pointed to custom remedy tables to leverage Insight Finder? Good question.
Yeah.
Yes, I just answered.
Yeah,
Just answered,
Sorry,
yes.
sorry, I just saw that in there. It popped up late. Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you. You did just answer. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Super. Sorry, there's so many flows. As soon as I look and I think they're all gone, there's more answers than questions then. Great. Okay, we're on, well, just past the hour. Hopefully this has been a useful session for you. And as mentioned, we will be doing more sessions. I'm going to collate all the Q&A together. I think we're nearly close to about 90 questions between 2 sessions. So a lot of really good questions for the team. We are also going to be running workshops. Some of the team are actually on here today, but I won't embarrass them. We will be setting some time up around September time where we will be helping and doing some workshops to follow on from today's sessions and get some of your questions further answered. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Nikhil, for presenting, Ankita, and also Taran for supporting the event. Please do give me around 24 hours and we'll get the content out to you. And hopefully if you've got any other questions, ideas of other content, spend a few minutes filling in the survey and I will take it back to the wider team. And thank you. Have a good morning, evening, wherever you're based, and hopefully see you all again soon. Next week, just a bit of a plug, we do have the service collaborator agent, one of Nikhil's team members that's going to be managing that. And we're also going to have Anchor to help in. So I'd love to see you on the 14th as well. And if you're really getting stuck into GPT, Kath, one of our other PMs, is going to be showing you how to use the tooling, and that will be on the Wednesday the 13th. So I'll send you those links out in the thank you.